Hey guys, welcome on in. It is Jordan with the BetLocker.com here to bring you a Monday night edition of our props betting for week 7 in the NFL. We got a 2-game slate tonight. I believe they've been doing these 2-game slates for more betting purposes, but that's a conspiracy theorist in me. So if you can, please like and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out, obviously, a lot. And it does, like I always say, buy yourself some good karma to cash in those tickets. So, man, we had a heartbreaker yesterday. If you tune into my Friday show for props for yesterday, you saw that I locked in Justin Fields over rushing, Quinshon Judkins over rushing, and Bo Nix over rushing. Bo Nix hit that easy. He did it in one run, even though he got way more than that. And Justin Fields got benched. So he got, thanks to pick 6, he got pardoned. So that just left Quinshon Judkins, and I believe was going to get the volume alone. Well, guess what? He did get the volume alone. He got, let me refresh this. He got 25 attempts. So just like we said, we're going to be seeing a minimum of 22, 23, even the upwards of 30. He got 25 and he only got 84 rushing yards. Now, I dug into that because I was kind of watching the game and I kept saying negative yards. And he had he had 6 attempts. 6 of those attempts of the 25 went for negative 17 yards. So even if he gets back to the line of scrimmage or something else happens, he hits his prop easily. But instead, 6 of those attempts went for negative 17 yards, and I didn't cash that ticket. So that hurt. He was also in another ticket, but such is life. Stuff like that happens. I mean, weird things like that with negative yards just happens, and we have to control our temperament, have to control our bankroll management, and move on. So, anyways, I was looking to target, and I was going to give in this props video probably, or I know for a fact, I'm going to give out one prop each that I like most from each side tonight. So 4 props and one that I like from each team. So the first one is going to be obviously Buccaneers taking on the Lions. High over under total. Expect to be a lot of scoring. Expect to be a lot of throwing. So I am going for my first prop. I'm going to be targeting. Let's see. It's going to be on the Lions side. Jared Goff over or more 23 and a half completions. Now, the reason why I'm targeting this is because Buccaneers are ranked 5th in stopping the run. They only allow 88 yards per game. And if there's one team that we do know that has every trick up their sleeve and is willing to go into the playbook and do whatever means necessary to score as many points on their opponent as possible, it's the Lions. So if the Buccaneers are stopping the run in both David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, I know that Dan Campbell said that he wants to split it more evenly. He's not happy that David Montgomery only got a few touches last game versus Jahmyr Gibbs. However, if Buccaneers are stopping that run, I feel like they also have no issue going to the pass game a lot more because they have so many weapons. Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. Now they have Tesla. That's, could have that potential of getting a few catches and a touchdown. And then they use Jahmyr Gibbs in the passing game as well. So I do think that they were and that's why the Buccaneers are a pass funnel defense, is just because they're so good at stopping the run. So then the pass game starts happening a lot more. So, I mean, they did give up so far in the last few games. They gave up 27 completions to Mac Jones. They gave up 28 completions to Sam Darnold, 26 to a Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he might be taking over Fields' spot. That remains to be seen. I don't think he's the answer. Neither is Fields. Either way. And then also in the first week, they gave up 27 completions to Michael Penix. Now, a lot of that comes from a lot of volume alone. So if we do see a lot of volume alone coming from Jared Goff, I think that there is a lot of weapons to be able to make that completion rate over. So I like the over in completions for Jared Goff. And then on the other side, I do like something as well. Now, there is, out of all the games all the games, there's only 2 games, but of all the teams tonight, there's only one team that has a workhorse running back, and that's the Buccaneers, and that's Rachaad White. So, what I do like for him is, and I know I preach look for the unders more than the overs, but in this first game for sure, I like leaning the overs just because it's such a high over under. So, there should be a lot of fireworks going on, a lot of scoring going on. So, I do like, but like I was saying, you have 3 teams that split the running back position. You got the Lions, who have David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They like to try and get it even as possible, even though tonight I don't think they're going to. Then you have the Texans, who have Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. They seem to not like lean any which way. They just go with whoever is getting the hot hand. And then you have the Seattle Seahawks, who do Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Now, Kenneth Walker is much better. He has a lot more yards per attempt than Zach Charbonnet, but they are hellbent on getting Charbonnet the ball regardless. So there's a lot of in question. The only team that's not in question of who's going to be the workhorse with Bucky Irving out is always Rachaad White. He's on the field 95% of the time. And if they are playing from behind, he is still also used in the passing game. Now, that is also essential for the Buccaneers because they could be down Ibuka again, and Evans is most likely going to play. I lean that he plays and Ibuka doesn't. We don't know. But at the same time, the secondary is beat up for the Lions, sure. But I mean, if you have, or if you're playing from behind like they're expected to in a -6, or 6 dogs on the road, you can expect Mayfield's probably going to be passing a lot more. And if his only weapon is Evans and he's getting shut down, there's probably going to be a lot of checkdowns to White. So that's why I'm going to lean towards receiving yards for Rachaad White, which is only a 22.5 total. So to back that up a little bit, you do see that even in Mayfield's 33 attempts against the Seahawks, he had 4 targets. In his 23 attempts against the Niners, Rachaad White still had 3 targets. And against the Eagles, with Bucky Irving in, when they're playing from behind trying to get that win, Bucky Irving has 5 targets and Rachaad White has 5 targets. So I expect him to see probably at least 3 to 5 targets tonight, no matter what, if they're playing from behind. And he's got to get that 22.5 receiving yard total, which I think is very, very doable against the Lions secondary, who is decimated. Plus, they have that suspension in Branch. So, I mean, they probably do step up against the receivers and if it's only Evans, then they have just, Tez Johnson and other guys behind him. I think they can shut them down, and maybe Rachaad White gets his yards pretty easily. So go ahead and lock in more there. And then on the other side, so the other game, I do lean. Now, there's 2 ways you can attack this. I'm going to attack a much smaller line that seems to be more achievable than a wild card. So, Derek Stingley is back for Houston. Not back, but he does shadow a lot of guys. And so just to give you an example, Derek Stingley, the corner for the Texans, he held Zay Flowers to 5 targets. Then he held Calvin Ridley to only 3 targets. He held Brian Thomas to only 6 targets. And then he held Mike Evans, but Mike Evans had 11 targets, but he only had 5 catches for 56 yards. So where am I going with this? If he is expected, which I think he is going to be expected to shadow JSN tonight, JSN could have a very underwhelming game. Now, you can go less than. I probably am going to be leading less than his receiving yards because if he does have that shadow, I think that he is going to be shut down a little bit. Now, he could get there by pure volume alone. When you say volume, the quarterbacks seem to stray away from Derek Stingley matchups, so the volume might not be there. What I meant to say was he might get there by one lucky catch alone. So like he could have, there just is always that potential that he could have that lucky 80-yard touchdown, So it's just scary. It's just a variant spot to where I would lean less receptions maybe for him. Let's see what his receptions game is, if they even have it. 6.5 receptions. Maybe I lean less than 6.5 receptions there and not even mess with the yards. I do like another spot though in a Bronson Arroyo, which is like, Jordan, who the heck is that? Now that is their secondary tight end for Seattle. So his receiving prop is only 14.5 yards. If you watched his last game, he was wide open down the sideline, waving his hands, going, hello, throw me the ball. And he would have gone for, I don't know, I think it was like a 40 or 50-yard touchdown. And Sam Darnold didn't see it. But tonight, if Stingley is holding JSN, his number one target, and he's not looking his way as much, he's going to be looking to his other things. So you could go Cooper Kupps, you could go Barner is the other tight end that he loves to target. However, he likes to target Arroyo also, who has seen 86. He's ran 86 routes and he has 7 receptions for 98 yards. That doesn't seem glamorous, but that isn't a high total. And if they watch that tape and they see that they have an outlet for him down the sideline like they did last game, I think that he could get that in one catch alone. So I would lean more there, and or you could go less completions for JSN. So however you want to attack that secondary, that is going to be supposedly and probably going to be stopping JSN a little bit more tonight. And that's coming from a JSN lover. He is on my fantasy team, but when it comes to gambling, I have zero ties and I have no problems exploiting something that I see on paper. So I do like that. Ooh, this just became available. Noel, I know it's not Noel, even though I like to sing Noel when he's on the field. He gets targeted a lot for Houston. So I just barely saw this. I do like his more right there for Noel. But having said that, that wasn't my favorite for Houston, but I just barely spotted that. And because he was not on the board before I clicked on to make this video, I do like Noel to be targeted more than any other receiver for Houston. Because if you look at Houston, it's Nico and it's everyone else. It's not like a Nico and Schultz and everyone else. It's just Nico and then everyone else. And he loves to target Noel. He hit that last game. I mean, I know, look at his yards. It's very underwhelming, but he, with no Chris Kirk out, I think that he likes to go to Noel quite a bit here. So I like his same thing. He could get that in one time too. So I like that a lot. My favorite though, however, for Houston is going to be the way to attack Seattle is they've been giving up 235 yards per game on the passing game against very underwhelming, some really good quarterbacks, some not so great quarterbacks. So I like to target passing yards for CJ Stroud, especially if they're stopping that run and they're, Woody Marks, Nick Chubb, they're not giving them the looks that they need. He's probably going to be dropping back a lot, just like he has been, and he gets that total which he's gotten the last 2 games. I mean, against a very beat up Ravens, he got that pretty easily, but he got that in basically 3 quarters against the Ravens. So, and then they're coming off the bye, so he is fresh. They should be probably playing from behind, and he should be throwing a lot more. And I like his over in passing. So a lot of ways to attack this slate, but that I would be very comfortable in locking that in. I mean, I know that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to lock in one from each, so in that way you don't have to get multiple things right. You just got to get one thing right from each team. But multiple ways to attack this slate tonight. So that's it, guys. Go ahead and please like and subscribe. Buy that good karma, and just give you a little preview of our site. Here's a little preview of our cheat sheet that had a lot of the winners and a lot of the guys needed yesterday. Plus, I gave a lot in Discord again. Like always, I was on, what was his name? The tight end for the Chargers, Gadsden. He had a lot of targets, and he had the game of the week for tight ends, and I had him in almost every pool yesterday just because I did see that Justin Herbert was going to be passing a lot, and he loves to target that big tight end. So put him in the Discord with this, but I wanted to show this site because, as always, with your membership, you get our locker picks, DFS cheat sheets, all of our prop bets, the reason why you're here, our daily picks, and obviously our free picks, plus access to our Discord channel. Dirt cheap, $6.99 a week or $19.99 a month. And if you do a month, you're basically getting 2 weeks free. and you join all of us for very cheap to win together. That's the whole point of this. So that's it. Please like and subscribe. Buy yourself that good karma, and we will see you next time. See you guys.